But today is a little bit of a special day. And because it's a special day and it's been a special week, my pride is multiplied tremendously, and I'm going to tell you why. We asked you last week to be prepared to do a couple of things this week. And one of the things that we asked you to do was to support 2 community organizations. And we also asked you to sign a pledge. So I want to talk about the support that you guys have shown in the last 4 days, because it really has been spectacular. One by one, you came up to the table and you offered a donation, and we didn't tell you how much to donate. We told you whatever you had. I always made the joke, 50 cents or $50. I'd prefer the $50. But everybody came up and everybody donated something. The amount of money that we took in 4 days this year is almost double what we took in last year. So give yourselves a nice round of applause. We will be using that money to honor 2 agencies. The one agency that we're going to honor is Second Harvest Food Bank. And we have done quite a bit with Second Harvest Food Bank over the last couple of years, and we're glad to help them again. And the other organization that we are going to be helping is one that's near and dear to my heart, because it has to do with doggies, and we're going to help Paw Platoon Dog Rescue. Today is our 3rd annual YES Fest. We have a lot of important things planned for you today, experiences and speakers. But I want to talk a little bit about how YES Fest came to be. It was 2013. It was the summertime. And there were 3 dates in that summer and the early fall that changed me and changed Boardman School and the Spartan family, I think, forever. And I'm going to tell you those dates right now. July 25th, September 30th, and October 5th, 2013. On each of those days, one by one, we lost part of our Spartan family to drugs. And I want to say the names of the 3 students that we lost. And I would ask after I read the last name that we have a moment of silence to honor them. Because of them, we have this YES Fest. Danny Watkins, Aaron Trell, Frank DeVanzo. I thank you for that. We did a lot of soul searching after those 3 kids died. And this YES Fest was born in that moment of tragedy for us. Mr. Cardillo and myself spent a lot of time brainstorming about what could we do. And that was the question, what can we do? The idea behind our YES Fest is really quite simple. Just say no. You're all familiar with that. And that is the traditional anti-drug campaign message, and that is part of YES Fest. It's the first step that you need to take. You need to take that first step, and you need to just say no to drugs and other things that you know are negative and dangerous. But at Boardman High School, we're trying to move beyond just say no, and instead show you some good things that you can and you should do. Today, Boardman High School, we are challenging you, quite honestly, to reject drugs and to embrace the things that are good and positive in your life. We want you to commit to the community of Boardman, and we want you to become young leaders and young volunteers. I want you to know that over in the gymnasium, the community of Boardman is waiting for you. They've been here since about 7:30 this morning setting up. The community's here for you, they care about you, and the most important thing I want you to take from this is that they need you. They're here because they need young people to be volunteers. So today you have an opportunity to pick the agency of your choice and to make that commitment to being a young leader and a young volunteer. After you hear our spectacular speakers today, and they are spectacular, I hope that you take the first step and become that volunteer that I know you can be. And I promise you, and I can guarantee you, that the joy you will experience from a day of volunteering is greater and far longer lasting than any high from any drug will ever be. Trust me. And now I'd like to introduce to you our first speaker. The Honorable Judge John Durkin has been a judge at the Mahoney County Court of Common Pleas for 20 years. He established the Mahoney County Felony Drug Court, and he presides over that drug court along with his regular docket. The drug court program, again, which he established, is an award-winning program and has been recognized as a mentor court by the United States Department of Justice. He has won many awards during his tenure as judge, such as the Distinguished Alumni Award from the University of Dayton Law School, the Hope Has a Home Award from Neil Kennedy Recovery Clinic, the Excellence in Leadership Award from Meridian Services, and the Peace Award from the Mayor's Task Force on Crime and Violence, as well as many other awards, far too numerous to mention. I think in addition to those grand awards that he's won and those honors that have been bestowed upon him, maybe the most important fact that you need to know is that Judge John Durkin is a part of your Spartan family because he is a Spartan parent. I'd like to introduce to you and give him a nice round of applause, Judge John Durkin.
Is this working? Hello? 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 I'm going to have a long talk with Mr. Apritza after this event. Mrs. Ferdback, thank you for the introduction. Ms. Bott, for inviting me. It's an honor to speak with you this morning. It's a privilege to share the stage with Coach Tressel. He doesn't know it, but he's long been a hero of mine, and I know that you are going to thoroughly enjoy his remarks. I am a Boardman parent, born and raised in Boardman. I did not graduate from here. My daughter Natalie did back in 2012. Currently, I have a son who's a senior here, and although I did not go here, I went to Mooney. Please, I have to say something. I see things happening at Boardman High School that aren't happening anywhere else in this area. And it's because of three things. It's because of students like you, it's because of faculty, and it's because of the administration that this building is blowing up with energy. It's blowing up with opportunity. It's blowing up with you because, as Mr. Cahoot has told you, I'm sure, many times, we right now are standing in the presence of what? Greatness. Absolutely. We are. As an attorney before I became a judge, and as a judge, I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of people. And I wanted to share a few of their stories this morning because they too had tremendous potential. They had tremendous opportunities. And at some point in their lives, they had a choice to make. The first young man I met when I was still an attorney, his name is Michael. He did go to Mooney. He was a football player. And back in the 80s, early 90s, he was really big and he was really good. About 6'4", 230, 235, and won, I don't even know if they still have it, the Mack Truck Award as the best offensive lineman to come out of the area. Got a full scholarship to play football at the Ohio State University. He had the world in front of him. And he made a choice no one knew about. He started drinking when he was still at Mooney. And one weekend down in Columbus, I'm not sure if it was football season or not, he got really, really drunk with some wrong people and started smoking weed. And a short time after that, the weed and the alcohol led to his experimentation with cocaine. I met him when I got a phone call from his father, who worked out at Lordstown. Michael was sitting in the county jail, arrested by the Poland Police Department when he tried to rob a gas station in Poland. Didn't have a gun or a knife. He was big enough. He just walked in and put his huge hands around the attendant's neck and grabbed the money out of the register and was caught right on 224 leaving. And I went down and I met him in county jail, and he looked at me, as big as he was, and he said one thing that stuck with me. He said, "I never thought this could happen to me." A few months later, I met a young girl. She actually walked through these halls. At the time, they said that she was the best basketball player to ever come out of this school. And she got a full ride to play basketball at Penn State. Tremendous talent, tremendous opportunity. And what no one knew, when she was actually a freshman or sophomore here, she started smoking weed. When I met her years later, she had a criminal history consisting of receiving stolen property, theft, drug abuse, and even prostitution. And she said the same thing to me. I never thought this could happen to me. That same year, I met a young man by the name of Jimmy. Jimmy wasn't athletic, but he was pretty smart. And he went to Rayen, had both parents, great home. Neither of his parents even graduated from high school, but he actually was the valedictorian in his class. Full academic scholarship to the University of Michigan. I had the misfortune of meeting him after he was stopped by the Highway Patrol coming back from Ann Arbor in a stolen car with drugs and some people that he clearly should not have been with. And he said basically the same thing to me. I didn't think this could ever happen to me. I do oversee a drug court. A couple of years ago, we had a full house. And with everybody sitting in the back, I asked them if they would raise their hands and tell me if a month ago, 6 months, a year, 2 years, if any one of them thought that they would ever be sitting in a courtroom, some of them in handcuffs, charged with a felony and addicted to drugs. And every single one of them raised their hands and said, never thought that it could happen to me. It's changed a lot since I became a judge, because the people that I just talked about, the drugs were different then. It was weed, it was alcohol. Alcohol's a drug. It was cocaine. We didn't see a lot of pills. We didn't see a lot of heroin. But you heard Mrs. Fernbach in the moment of silence. This has now touched home. It's one thing to read about it in the paper, look at it in the news, and you know what? If you don't know them, if you don't know their family, it's easy to just kind of say, that could never happen to us. It could never happen to me. But we did lose Aaron. And we did lose Danny, and I'm not certain if you knew them, but I did. Aaron lived across the street from me and was in my kitchen hundreds of times. And I know her parents. And my daughter Natalie graduated with Danny and said that he had such a kind soul. He was a phenomenal athlete. He had potential that we speak of. My message is very, very simple this morning. If you take nothing else away from what I'm telling you, standing in the presence of greatness with all of your potential, with all of your talent, with the future in front of you, you will have choices to make. You may have already had a decision to make. But take away from this the fact that one wrong choice at the wrong moment can impact the rest of your life. And we're no longer talking just about perhaps losing a scholarship or losing freedom by going to jail or prison. We're talking about the possibility of losing your life. These are huge stakes, and I am passionate about it, and I know that the administration and faculty here is also passionate about it, because simply, it can happen to you. It has happened to our friends and family. Take every step you can to plan ahead and think about the time, because I'm sure it might happen, I'm sure it will happen to many of you, that you have that choice to make. And say, you know what, I remember Durkin saying that there's a choice and there's a consequence to it. Let me take the right path instead of the wrong one. I wish all of you success. There's energy in this room. There's energy as you go next door to see the opportunities that await. And I wish you luck here at Boardman and in your future. Thank you.
I'll give you this too. Okay. Okay. Our next speaker is telling me to shorten his introduction because it's full of all of his awards, so I will shorten his introduction for you. Our next speaker is someone I'm sure is very familiar to everybody in this room. Today you will have the honor of listening to some words from President Jim Tressel. President Jim Tressel was coach for our own Youngstown State University Penguins and took them to 4 national championships. And he also coached for the Ohio State University, and I'm sure everybody knows all of that. He is the author of 2 books, The Winner's Manual for the Game of Life and Life Promises for Success. He has won many, many awards that would take me about 4.5 minutes to list for you. The most important thing that he wants me to tell you is that he is part of our Boardman Spartan family, whether you realize that or not, because he is the parent of 3 children who attended and graduated from Boardman High School, Zach and Whitney and Carly. But I think probably his most important award or role is a new one for him, and that is being a grandpa for the first time. I'd like to introduce to you President Jim Tressel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Principal Fernback. It really is an honor to be back in this school. We were fortunate that Zach, Carly, and Whitney got to go kindergarten through high school in the Boardman schools. Prepared them extremely well. They're all doing well in life. They're so blessed and they're so grateful for the opportunity to have gone to these schools. The teachers all along the way were extraordinary, the administrators, all of the people that gave them the opportunity to see if they could reach their potential. When Principal Fernback came and talked about the YES Fest, I thought, man, that is the best thing. Because something I've always believed in is that you need to say to yourself and say to one another, we're going to do extraordinary things. We're going to reach our potential in life. We're going to take advantage of all the opportunities that we have to go to a school system like this, to live in a country like this. Yes, we're going to have a great life. And so to have a day like this, where you have a chance to sit back for a moment, think about things other than your various classes, think about a larger scope, have a chance to interact with the community when you go to the gym, and really think about, yes, I'm going to reach my potential. Yes, I was put on this earth to do great things, and I'm going to do them. Many, many years ago, we came to Youngstown State University, and I remember the first thing we told the team was, you know what? We're going to be the national champions. They were all like, yeah, right. The community was like, are you crazy? That's never happened here. We said, you know what? Yes, that's what we're going to do. We know it's not simple. We know it's not easy. We know it's going to take a lot of hard work and talent and sacrifice and all the rest. But yes, we're going to do that. Well, people question that and so forth. But it had to start with us deciding personally that that was going to happen. Just like in your life, it begins with you deciding individually that yes. That's why the Yes Fest makes so much sense. And that's why a day like today, where we're deciding that yes, reminds me so much of that day when we went into our team and we said, one of the steps along the way to us doing what we said we want to do will be, we're going to learn a little poem together. And picture 118 to 22-year-old guys sitting in a locker room, and we're saying to them, we're going to learn a poem. And we're going to say it every day. We're going to say it every day together. We're going to affirm. We're going to make sure that deep down in our hearts, we believe that yes, we're going to do this. The poem was really simple. It was entitled, It Can Be Done. And it went like this. Somebody said that it couldn't be done. But she, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't. But she would be one who wouldn't say so till she tried. So she buckled right in with a trace of a grin on her face. If she worried, she hid it. And she started to sing as she tackled the thing that couldn't be done. And she did it. And we said that day after day after day after year after year. And it didn't happen like magic. We weren't the national champions our first season. In fact, our first season we only won 2 games. But we kept saying it. We kept doing the things that you need to do to progress toward your potential. And then we got a little bit better the second year, and a little bit better the third year, a little bit better the fourth year, a little bit better the 5th year. And then in that 6th year, we were the national champions. Everyone in America knew where Youngstown, Ohio was. They knew about the Mahoning Valley. They knew about Herb Williams, the great Boardman Spartan that made the circus catches that changed the games in the national championship run. Because some people earlier had decided, yes, that's what we're going to do. And then had figured out the plan for what it was going to take to do it, and then handled all the difficulties to move toward that. Reaching our potential doesn't mean necessarily just winning national championships or getting a great job or getting all A's or whatever. Reaching our potential is becoming the best we can possibly become at whatever it is we enjoy. And so what makes up the plan? We always talked about the fact that one of the most important things that makes up the plan is we've got to have the right friends around us. We've got to have the right team. You've got to surround yourself with the right people who will help you make those choices that the judge talked about at those moments when the choices have to be made, who will help raise you up. You have to have the right friends. We would always say, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. The right friends is important. But along with that, we've got to make sure that we individually are the right type of friend. We have to be the right kind of friend. We asked our team one time, what's a friend? Various statements were made. Well, a friend is someone you can count on. A friend is someone who's got your back. A friend is someone you can call on. Who'll be there for you. True. But a friend is also someone who will tell you when maybe you're going down the wrong road, making the wrong choices, acting the wrong way, saying the wrong things, texting the wrong things, whatever. A friend will say to you, hey, don't treat her like that. Don't say that to him. How do you think he feels if you say that? Hey, we shouldn't be here. This isn't the place to be. Nothing good is going to happen here. Let's get out of here. That's what a friend does. So not only do we need to surround ourselves with the right friends, we have to be someone who someone would look at to be the right friend. And sometimes the right friend is the one that says, hey, this isn't good. We're not going to reach our potential. We're not going to realize our dreams if we're taking part in this. So, first part of the plan is we've got to have the right friends and be the right kind of friend. Secondly, we've got to decide early what it is we're going to do so that when we get into those moments like the judge talked about, and we have a choice to make, we've already decided we're not going to be a part of that. Whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's violence of any kind, whether it's bullying, whether it's saying something or doing something that isn't the right thing to do, we've decided in advance that we're not going to be a part of that. We're going to respect each other. We're going to appreciate each other. We're going to grow to learn more about each other, even if we might not know that much about one another. We're going to decide early so that when the choices come, we'll make the right choices. We're going to decide early. I'm going to pay attention in class. And I don't know why they're trying to teach me this. I don't know what it's going to have to do with the rest of my life. But I'm going to decide early that I'm going to focus and pay attention and be a good learner. Who knows what this knowledge I gain will do for me down the road. But I've decided I'm going to learn everything I can. I decided early. I'm going to be the best student I can. I'm going to be the best orchestra player I can. I'm going to be the best volleyball player I can. I've decided early. I'm going to do the things you need to do to reach my potential. I'm going to get proper rest because I know when I feel better and I'm rested, I'll do better in school. I'll be a better friend. I'll do better in whatever performance activity that I enjoy. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to keep the wrong things out of my body. I've decided early. That's what's so awesome about today. This is a Yes Fest. Yes, today I'm deciding that this is the way that I'm going to move on. Now, here's the hard part about that step. It's not easy to have that discipline, to have that focus, to do the right things and make the right choices, even if I've decided early. If I said, you know what, I've gained a little bit too much weight and I'm not as fast as I was and I don't feel as good, so I'm going to eat better, and then I walk by that donut. Darn, that donut looks good. It's still hard. Or I take that third slice of pizza or whatever. Focus is hard. Discipline is hard. But unless you decide early, you don't have a chance. Because if you don't decide early what you want to do and what disciplines you want to progress with, there's no way you're going to have that willpower and that focus to do it. So we have to have the right friends. Have to decide early, folks. I'm not getting involved in these things, and I am going to do these things. And I think another thing that's part of the plan that I've noticed through some extraordinary people and extraordinary groups I've been around is that usually people who reach their potential are grateful for their opportunities. They're really grateful. I know my kids tell me all the time how lucky they are that they went to the Boardman schools and they had this teacher and that teacher and this person helped them and this. They talk about it all the time. Or they got to go to college and boy, this professor and so forth. Now, I'm not sure they talked about it when it was happening, but as they reflect back, they're really grateful for the opportunities they've had. And we always say that it's impossible to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. I mean, we either decide that, you know, we're lucky. We live in a great country. We live in a great state. We live in a great region. We go to a great school. We have so many wonderful opportunities. We're grateful. And I think part of reaching that potential, the decision that we say yes to, is we decide up front, I'm going to be a grateful guy. I am going to be appreciative for all the opportunities. All I have to do is turn the TV on and look around the world and say, oh my goodness, well, I wonder what it would be like to be a part of that. Boy, am I lucky. We need to be grateful. But even though, while we're grateful, and we've decided early, and we've surrounded ourselves with good friends, and we've decided we're going to be a good friend, it still isn't easy, folks. Discipline and focus is hard. Let me give you an example. They've got a little timer here, and they always tell me I go too long. Does that bell mean I'm too long? No. Okay. Because I want to do a little exercise with this group. This is a good group. Okay, here's the exercise. If we were going to talk about all the people that we appreciate and give them a standing ovation or whatever, we'd be here for 10 days. Okay? So sometimes you have to express your appreciation quickly. And so if we wanted to express our appreciation for the judge, and I said to you, let's give the judge a hand, all I want you to do is put your hand up. Pretty simple. Got to be focused. Are you focused? Okay. How about a hand for the judge? See, I told you it's hard to be focused. All right, one more time. Stick with me now. How about a hand for the judge? Okay? All the people that put this together, all of our teachers and faculty and principal and everyone that was involved in putting this together, how about a hand for our teachers? See how hard it is to have discipline? We had one or two who just in that 30-second period lost their focus. Okay, here's the next challenge for you. If I said to you that we're going to clap for the judge, I want to find out first and foremost, is there any rhythm here at Boardman? Okay? And can you have the discipline to clap all in unison in one sound? Got some rhythm here? Okay, here we go. How about a clap for the judge? Wait a minute. A clap. Okay, you with me now? A, one, clap. How about a clap for the judge? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I thought we had rhythm here. We didn't build this beautiful performing arts with no rhythm. All right? Stay with me now. How about a clap for the teachers? Oh, yeah. We've got some rhythm. Clap for the judge. Okay, now, here's the real test. Remember I told you, it's hard even though you make the decisions early. The discipline and focus to be in the moment, to make sure you make the right decision in the moment is hard. So now here's the real test. We're going to have to decide if we're going to hand or clap. Ooh. Ooh. Are you ready? Ready? Clap for the judge. Yeah. I told you, Principal Fernback, this is a good bunch right here now. Clap for the teachers. Oh, yeah. Clap for the judge. Clap for the teachers. Oh, this is a good bunch. Keep your focus. Keep your focus. the teachers. Clap for the judge. Clap for the teachers. Clap for the judge. Hand for the judge. Okay, we don't have much time, so what's really a little bit disappointing was Principal Fernback messed up. And she clapped when she should have handed. All right, one last time. So do you see how hard it is? Even though you decided you're going to make the right decision, the world happens fast. Decisions come by. The world is blurring by. You guys live in a world that's so fast, with so much communication. It is hard to stay focused, even then when you decide early. But we got to do it if we're going to reach our potential. So let's see if the potential of this group is one last time to have no one error and have the clap in the hand the right way. Okay, you ready? Take a deep breath. Clap for the teachers. Clap for the judge. Clap for the teachers. Clap for the judge. I got my eye on the principal over here. Look at you. Stand up here, see if you're focused. All right? Clap for the teachers. Clap for the judge. Clap for the teachers. Clap for the judge. Clap for the teachers. Clap for the judge. Clap for the teachers. And for the judge. Man. Pretty good. Pretty good. The point is, even when you decide early, having that discipline and focus, it's tough. But that's what we have to do. We have to keep working and working. All right, listen up, folks. We got 1 minute left. And lastly, after we've decided, our friends, being a good friend, decided early, I'm going to reach my potential, and here's what it's going to take. And I'm going to stay disciplined and focused, and I'm going to be grateful for this opportunity to say yes. Lastly, we've got to make sure that we serve each other. And that's the whole point as we go to the gym. Is there's 50 community organizations that need your help. My experience has been the people that serve others end up reaching their potential. The people that are only concerned about themselves, it just never seems to work. Saying yes to life is saying yes to making a difference to others. And we appreciate this community. I know this community is deeply embedded in the hearts of my family. We're rooting for you to say yes to life, to help one another, because it's hard. Make sure we're willing to reach out to one another when we need help. It's hard. And if each of us can do our thing, we'll be fine with the results. God bless all of you, and go Spartans!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take one more opportunity for us to give a Spartan round of applause for our speakers today. thank both of you for sharing your wisdom with us and for dedicating some of your time. I know you both have extremely busy schedules. Before we end here today, if you could all just in a few minutes, not right now, but in a few minutes, I'm going to dismiss you to go over to the gymnasium. Not now. What I want to have happen when you go over to the gymnasium is a couple of things. First of all, I want you to make a decision today. If you haven't already made a decision about whether or not drugs are going to be a part of your life, I hope you make the decision today that they are not going to be. Remember, you need to make your decisions early so you're prepared. The second thing I need you to do is I need you to be open. And by being open, it means as you're walking around the gymnasium, you are going to walk up to all of those tables. You are going to greet the community members who have taken time to pack up all kinds of information for you. Find an agency that speaks to your heart. Ask how you can get involved and sign up to be a volunteer. It's a very simple thing. You take that first step today. That's what matters. Before I dismiss you, I want to give a round of applause to Ms. Ann Bach. And I also would like to do a special thank you to some guests I have up here. Mr. Jared Cardillo, Mr. Tim Saxton, Dave Farouk, and myself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to turn the ideas you've listened to today into action. Head over to the gymnasium and don't forget to say yes.